everyone, I thought it would be fun today to do one of the Christmas cards from the Castle Arts Christmas colouring activity book. Now my first challenge was getting the card out of the book. What I actually did was I broke the spine on the book by folding it really hard down the middle so that it opened out like it's here, and I tore the page out so that I could then cut it along the line to make it a bit easier than trying to get my scissors in there and cut that. So that's how I got it out. There's probably better methods, but I'm just thought I would let you know what I did. Now I am going to turn to the correct page of this book, and it tells us here how to colour in the card. So let's put it down here a little bit actually. Now this is just plain colouring. It's very blocky. It's stained glass window. Let's come in a little bit closer just so you can see the picture. Start with, everything's looking a bit blurred on my screen. There we go. So you can see the picture. It's very small, but now I come in closer I can see. So we've got quite a lot of sort of rainbowy colours around the outside, a bluey background, and then our sort of candles in the middle. So I figured, as it was quite a sort of blocky type picture, there was no shading, I would use pens. I'm not an expert at using pens by any stretch, but I just thought it would be a fun challenge, and it would show us what pens do to this paper, because I haven't tried pens on this paper before. So let's go in a bit closer. There we go. So I can lean on the book here. What I've done is I've made the card up and I've put a couple of sheets of paper inside it so that if there is any bleed through, it will only go onto the back of here and not through. Now the pens that I'm using are Arteza. I pinched these off my husband's bookshelf, which is right next to me as I'm sitting here, and I've just grabbed them. He's got the 120 Inkonic. Inkonic? Is that how you say it? I don't know. Hang on, I'll just grab one and we can get started and I'll show you the pen. So these are them, Arteza Inkonic pens. It says 0.4, I think that's the nib size, and it's A109 is the colour. So this is a purple. I've grabbed a purple because we've got a purple here, and I'm going to start, whoops, just colouring. I may not do the whole card because it's quite a lot, and that's a tiny nib, but the areas aren't huge. Now I'm not particularly good at colouring in pen, but I just thought it would be a good test to see what the paper's like. You see where I overlap, it goes really liney. I think that's what happens with the water-based markers. It might be better to use alcohol markers to get a more even finish. I gather that's the case. I haven't ever used them, but of course the risk with water-based markers is that it will go right through your paper. Now that could be okay. Now I was thinking of some solutions, because if it does go through the paper, which I reckon it might, but we'll look later. I'll leave that excitement for later. We'll do a few different colours because, you know, it might be colour determined. I don't know. I guess I should be colouring in the same direction all the time. Don't know. I'm following the colours in the picture. It makes it really easy for me. Yeah, I had some thoughts about if it went through the page, maybe you could get a piece of an old Christmas card and stick on the back inside your card, or is that one purple? Yeah. Or do another picture and, you know, colour another picture and stick it in, or a postcard, or get some stickers or a bit of gift wrap. There's quite a lot of options, but I think as these were supposed to be pull-out cards, you would have expected them to take markers, because do Castle make pens? I'm just thinking. I don't know. I only buy pencils normally. I know they make acrylic paint, and I'm sure they do some markers. So you would think they might have tested their paper for their markers, but I don't know. I'm going to look. Ooh. Looks okay. That's a big surprise. You could tell by my voice. I was really surprised. I thought they might go through. But as you can see, my colouring isn't brilliant. You could, of course, if you like using pencils, just colour in pencil in an even layer, and you would get this sort of effect, a neater look than I'm going to get with this. And also I think if you used a felt pen with a bigger nib, or a marker, as you Americans call them felt pens here in the UK. Well, these we don't. These we call fine liners because they don't have a felt end. Felt tipped pen has a felt end, but I don't know if they do these days. Probably everything's plastic, isn't it? I expect. But anyway, I would have expected them to go through, but they haven't. I'm just going to tidy that up now. I'm trying to work out whether this shade of sort of violet is the same as any of the ones on the bow, and I think it is. So I'm going to just do those as well. I think it's easier to do all of one colour at once. So I think it's this shade. Oh, my stomach's rumbling. Shouldn't be. I had an early lunch today because my children were here, because it's a Friday. They have the morning studying at home, so they were studying here, and they left early, so they left us sort of 11:45, so I had lunch straight away and then came through to record. It's quite tricky to make out which colour is which. I feel like I'm doing a colour by number though, because I'm following someone else's colours, which is, I know a lot of people like those. I've never tried one. I always like to colour the colours I'm in the mood for colouring, but you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing a colour by number at all. If that's what relaxes you. These two are a different colour purple. Oh, I've done it wrong. Never mind. I had said in my last video I made from the flowers, Castell Arts Flowers book, that I would like much bigger versions of these little pictures. The guide pictures, they are so small that it would be much easier if we could get a download. Well, not necessarily a download, but if they had them on their website so we could look at them. Because those two are more of a reddy purple. I think I'll be alright. Maybe it is right. Maybe it's just me getting a bit confused in my head. Anyway, I'm going to do these two and then we'll use a different colour, because we want to see what other colours go through the page. But I don't feel like I can teach you anything really today. It's not really a tutorial because I don't know anything about colouring with pen. I do know I've lost my lid. Where's it gone? Oh my. I can't. Oh, here it is. It's underneath. Can you see my... Oh, it's rolled out. Right, that's our one purple. I'm wondering now, I think I'm going to do the other shades of purple next so that I don't get muddled. So now I want a much darker one. I'm thinking maybe, oops, I'll make sure I don't get these out of order. I think this one might be, hang on, let me just try it on a scrap piece of paper. No, that's blue. That's no good, is it? I think I picked the darkest one and now I need a darker one. Oh no, this is a darker one. This is number A136. I'm assuming the A might stand for Arteza. I don't know. Anyway, let's do this darker one. It's these. It really isn't much different. It actually looks a bit lighter. If I layer it up, it'll look darker. There we go. If I layer it up, it's more likely to go through the page though. But still, it's okay. I'm unlikely to give this scruffy little card to anybody, but we'll see. I was going to do all the way around the edge and then do the centre after, but I think I won't. I think what I'll do is I'll do some of it. I think the background might take a long time. It might get a bit dull, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, but as I say, I can't really teach you anything. What am I doing? I'm just putting colour down, trying to make it look not too messy, which I'm struggling with. Yeah, there's only 4 in the really dark purple. Let me just pop those back there. Now, we have the sort of reddish purple, maybe this one. Yeah, there. Well, that's nice. That's, sorry, A125. As I say, I'm sure the A probably just stands for Arteza. I wonder if their colours work, so if I had a pencil 125, whether it would be the same. Some companies do that. I think like Faber Castell do, but the more budget ranges may not be quite so consistent. In fact, even Derwent with their Chroma Flow, I think that might be that one. Even Derwent with their Chroma Flow pencils, they the numbers are different. So the 12 set, no, the 24 set that I've got is numbered 1 to 24. I assume that there's a few. That's that. I think that's that. It's really difficult for me to tell what colours I need to use, so I'm sort of guessing a bit. So I'm assuming their 48 set isn't labelled 1 to 48. I'm assuming that some of the colours will be in between. So like there might be a colour between 1 and 2 and they wouldn't label it, would they label it 1A? I doubt it. So I expect they're numbered differently in their 20, but I don't know, I could check. Now that's leaf, we've got that bit. I think I'm going to do that bit in this. It doesn't really matter if it's not exactly the same, I don't think. But those of you more used to doing things like this probably be better than me. This bow bit's lighter, so let's get a couple of lighter ones. This top one's the lightest. This is A192. I'm going to make this the really light one here. Like that. And this is the A188 I'm going to use for the bit underneath. That looks lighter. I'll layer it over. There we go. Very messy, but hey, it's fun. Messy fun. Whoops. Oh, my pens are jumping all over the place. I'm trying to lay them back in the tin a little bit so I can remember where they went, because these are my husband's pens. He's really fussy about making sure they are in the right order. Yellow. We need a yellow for the border. I'm going to use A105 and do my border. Gosh, it doesn't show up much. Now what I found, I have used these a few times. Sorry, I have stolen these a few times. And what I find is that some of them are quite dry and it's quite hard to get the colour out. Now, I don't think my husband has used them very much, so I don't think that they're running out. And I find some of them are really wet and almost too runny. So there seems to be an inconsistency between them, which I find a little bit odd. This one seems a bit dry, but it might just be because it's yellow and I can't really see it. Yellow. But it could be that it's a bit dry. I'm going to struggle with these yellows on the candle to see which is which, because there are different colours on the sort of bit around the candle. But I'll do my best. That's all I can do, isn't it? And we'll just go around. I quite like the idea of this sort of multicoloured frame. If I really like this picture but find it too scruffy, when I finished, I'll go over the top of the pen with some pencil and make it neater. Now, what I can tell roughly here is that the colour on the bit going around the edge of the candle gets darker as you go round. So I'm looking at my range of colour, thinking I'm going to make it that one. I've got a darker yellow and a couple of lighter ones. So I'm going to make that one and that one. Like that. Just go over that a little bit more. And this one I shall put it here. I think that's all this yellow. Yeah, okay. Now I'm going to go darker next with the 128 and do that bit which is darker. Oh yeah, it does look noticeably darker, and this bit which is darker. Oh, it's gone a bit orangey. Can you see how that's sort of eaten up the paper? Okay. Yeah, those are our only darker ones, and now we'll go lighter. So I've got two lightish ones. So the next lightest one, oops, I can't get the lid off, is here. Oh, this is A151. Just in case. That's a nice lemony colour, isn't it? And this one. I think this one is that. No, this one is that colour too. In there. And here, I think we have there and there. Oh, snap. Then we have our even lighter colour, which do the ones at the top. Doesn't look that much lighter to me. I'm just going to try and do a really quick light layer so it looks a bit lighter. Okay, now I'm going to finish doing the bits around the flame. So I'm going to use the pen that I used as my darkest, which was the 128 for this one here. This one and this one. That one's gone a bit nasty down there, but anyway. Now I want a slightly darker, almost orangey one. I'm thinking this one. This is 121. I'm having to go by the lids because I haven't swatched them, but they seem it's quite good, unless you go over it too much and then it goes a bit orangey. But this bit is a bit orangey anyway, so I think it's okay. That's very odd. I can hear my boiler coming on. My heating goes off in about 2 minutes, so maybe it's okay. And I'm also gonna put it here. Well, as you layer it up, it goes quite orange, doesn't it? Those two bits I should have done in the sort of really light colour. Hang on. I'm not going to use the very lightest. I think I'm going to use the 105 for these two. There we go. Slightly darker, the 128 for this bit in here. What's that bit? That bit's a bit darker. We need a slightly darker one now. That's quite orangey. maybe we do want to go a bit orangey. This is 112. This one's quite juicy. It's going down nicer. Oops, go out of the lines. Never mind. And yeah, that bit is quite dark, but that bit needs the one before. The 121. Now I think we'll do the flame next. If I overdo that bit, look a little bit darker, which is what I want. Now the flame part is in red, so really dark orange and then a red. I think I'm going to try these two. This is a 140. It looks like an orangey red to me. Yeah, I just tried it on some scrap paper. So the edge of the flames are this colour. And then, doesn't look that different to that one, does it? And then the main centre of the flame is a red, which I'm going to use this 195, and I'm also going to use this for the border because there's some red in the border. It's quite a bit more pinky, isn't it? Now you can see my colouring is really scruffy. I often leave bits of white. It's where pencil is much more forgiving. But as I say, you could be following this along in pencil. So we have red on our edge. I just thought because it was a block colour page, you know, no shading, it would be easier in pen. But to be honest, I think it'd probably be easier in pencil. But there we go. And what I'm finding is the sharp ends of the pen is slightly messing with the paper here. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend trying to do big areas with this, like I'm trying to do. But I have found this before. The Bristol board that I really love using for pencil doesn't work for pens at all. But they do claim that this works for pen. It might just be that my technique is absolutely rubbish because, you know, I'm not used to using pen. So anyway, we'll see. What I think I am going to do is when I finish this video, I'm going to go over these with some pencils and take a photo so you can see it done neatly because it really isn't very neat. But apparently putting pencil over pen can be quite a good technique because you've got a quick background sort of area to then colour over. Apparently it makes it easier. But I've tried it a little bit. I think people tend to use alcohol markers though because they give a more even sort of start. Now we've got holly berries here and I am going to colour some of them in this. There are 3 extra bright red ones and I'm going to do them in this. Seems such a waste colouring a holly berry like this. I just love shading and shaping a holly berry to do it just solid. It feels wrong. But of course we're trying to get a stained glass window effect. So that is how it would be. There we go. Now there's 2 other reds for our holly, so I'm going to grab this one. This is the 114. It looks quite pink, but I think it'll be okay. And there. And I don't know if there's one in the other bunch. Yes, there is this one. just realised there's an orange in our outside panel, which we haven't done yet, but I can do that in a minute. Now I don't know if this is red or pink, so I'm just going to scribble it on my scrap paper. It's very much pink. Hopefully this one will be red. Near enough. So we're going to do, this is 182. Strangely, this is coloured in as if it's a berry, which is a bit weird. And I've coloured that one wrong. It should have been that one that was the darker one. But never mind. Just shows why I shouldn't be trying to follow. And again, that one was wrong. Oh well. Never mind. So there's that one. Now I'm going to grab an orange because we've got some orange bits on the outside that I haven't done yet. This is the 112. Looks like a cadmium orange to me. So what we've got left, we've got our candles to do and our leaves. So there's this bit, a bit here. So this isn't really a very fair demo of how easy it is to colour the card, really, because I'm using a medium that I'm not used to using. But I think this one is quite straightforward. But if you look at how detailed some of the others are, I really feel, I've said this a billion times, that we need a bigger picture. You can use it as a colour guide, but you can't really use it to see any detail. So that is a bit of a thing, a bit of a problem. I've also contacted Castell about the fact that I have a page missing from my book. See this picture here? You can just about see it as an Ice Castle card. I don't have that one in my book, it's missing. So I let them know. I mean, I get sent this book for free, so I'm not complaining that I've got something missing. It's absolutely fine. But I think people who paid for the book might not be happy. Now I'm going to do some green so I can finish my border, because all the rest is green, and start on the holly leaves. This is 179. I realise I've missed this out, but anyway. Going to do the candles next. That's a bit bluey green. I guess it will be okay. I would have done this sort of grass green. Anyways. Yeah, I'm just double checking that it is, all the missing ones are green. No. Yes, so my book came shrink wrapped, so obviously there was no, it wasn't removed or anything like that. You would have noticed. I would have noticed anyway. So it's just missing. I don't know whether it's a problem with whether there's a big amount that are printed wrongly, but I've let my contact at Castell know that there's this problem with them, so that they can hopefully do something about it. Obviously their next print run they can add the page in, but for all the current ones I don't know what they're going to do. I think for me the best solution would be to offer it as a free download, and then people can get that page, and also be brilliant because you could print it on some better paper if you wanted to send it as a Christmas card. Now I've got this holly to do, and I'm trying to work out, I think this is going to be my lightest green, so I'm going to find the lightest green in the picture and do all the light green bits with this one. I don't think it really matters if I do it slightly wrong, to be honest. I am wondering how I'm going to do those really light purple bits when I don't have a light purple in my polys. I might have to dig into my Prismas. But I'll manage. A bit there. I don't know how people get such neat finishes with a pen, but still, there's probably some trick that I don't know. Okay, so that's my first one. Now I'll go darker. Number 161. Oh, can't get the lid off. Next darkest here. But I hope everyone's well. Looking forward to Christmas. I have just been reading about the UK postal strikes happening. I mean, by the time this video goes out, there may have been some change of heart, but at the moment, their postal strikes are happening quite a few days in December, November. Obviously, November's already gone by the time this video comes out, and even the 23rd and the 24th of December, which normally I find that by the time the 24th has come, our local posties have caught up with all the posts, and you don't get a lot. They tend to keep on top of it, but obviously with this strike action they're going to get behind and behind, so early posting of Christmas cards is going to be really important, which means that making them this late might not be very sensible. I usually get my cards in the post on the 1st of December anyway, so yeah, but it's still fun to do Christmas colouring even if you're not posting. I've actually got a Christmas card, just looking carefully, which I can do that one, which I made last year and it was too late, that I'm gonna give away this year. So there's always a chance that it could get done, it could find a home next year, but this all depends on how nasty it looks on the back and whether I can rescue it with pencil after. We'll have to see. I'm actually doing, there are 2 shades of darker green, and I'm doing both of them with this one pen because I'm lazy and it's easier. But if you don't have a big range of pens or pencils, then if you layer them up a bit you get a darker shade, so you could try that. I've lost my lid. Where's it gone? Oh, it's under my book again. Oh, oh dear. Right, sorry. Okay, a darker pen. That one, I think. Number 120. Now, I'm not going to do, as I say, I'm not going to do the background because I think it's going to be a bit too boring. I'm already running out of things to talk to you about. So I shall pick some blues and just go for it. I'll do the candle though because it's a bit tricky because it's white, but I think we can manage it because we do. There are some pale colours in this pen set, which is handy. Now, my husband bought these pens to do, I'm trying to remember why he bought them. He was doing some sort of lettering on something and he wanted colours. Oh, journaling, just for journaling. But for some reason he just uses one pen. But so these pens have just been abandoned, which is why I thought I would grab them and have a go. But I think I might just use them for writing letters and things, rather than, but I've got my own fine liners that I can use for that. I think that's a bit, yeah. So I'm not sure, but they'd be okay for like little highlights and little areas, and if you're accomplished at using water-based markers, then I'm sure you would use them well. But no, for me, just not good enough. I think I'm not patient enough or slow enough. I think that's part of the problem. Right, last one, darkest green, and then we'll do the candle. I've done all of the ones on that side anyway. I think colouring bits in just block colour is quite relaxing, not thinking about shadows and shading. But I think what I'm doing here is we're losing the black lines, which some people really like, but when we're trying to make something look like a stained glass, I wonder whether I should really go over the black after in pen. I think I will do that, although I'm not that good at using pen. Right, firstly that bit there, I'm just going to pick number 121 for that. There. Okay, now our candles. We've got what looks like 3 colours, but some look like white, but I'm going to use these 3 colours. Okay, so the lightest I think is the 175, and I'm going to do what I think is the white bits with this so that it doesn't look completely white. There and there, and this bit. Then there and here and here. Ugh, where I've overcoloured looks nasty. I don't know which of these is the darkest. That one's lighter than the one I just used. Oops, that one's definitely darker. Right, I've got the darkest one. That's this bit. There. And then this other one. Oh, sorry, that was 135. This is 204 that I'm using for the rest. And then we've got our background, which I'm going to do in 3 different blues. Let's just pop these back over there. I think it's 3, no it's 4. Let's have a look, we've got a really pale one here. That one. Or maybe that one. And that one. Whoops. Like that. Yeah. Right, I'm not going to do this on camera. I've been going on for long enough. What I'm going to do, finish the pens. I'm going to take a photo and show you. Then I'm going to go over it in pencil and with the black pen on all the lines, and then take a photo so you can see the difference. Before I finish, let's show you the inside. You can't see any through, which is good news. So if you do want to use pens on your cards, you know that you can without any bleed through. Okay, well, I'm going to say thank you for watching because I don't think I'm going to come back and speak to you. I think I'll just show you a few photos. But thank you for watching. I hope that was okay. It was a bit different, but yeah, hopefully a few ideas for you. Yeah, thank you very much and happy colouring.